Hey guys, what's up? It's Megan here and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm filming a very big book haul for you guys. I have so many books here and I didn't even realize I had this many books to haul until I started getting them all out. So this haul goes back from like January or February until now, so almost like half the year. And I usually don't purchase a ton of books at once, and I like to kind of do a collective haul every once in a while. So that's what I'm going to do today. So the first books I'm going to start off with are two books that I bought at my sister's Scholastic Book Fair. I don't have a Scholastic Book Fair anymore as a high schooler, but my sister, who was in elementary school up until this year, does, and I always go and I check out their middle grade selection because I love reading middle grade. And so the two books that I picked up are Lily's Story by W. Bruce Cameron and From You to Me by K.A. Holt. This one is part of the Dog's Purpose series. I almost have all of them now, except for the newest one, which is Bella's Story, and then Toby's Story. I did read that one, but I checked it out from the library. This one is about a dog who helps animals in trouble. So I think she works as like a rescue dog or something, or goes to like animal shelters and helps. I'm not really sure because it doesn't really say a ton on the back, but I'm really excited to read this. So yeah, and then this one is about a girl whose sister has passed away after drowning in a lake, and it happens 3 years after this has occurred, and she finds this letter that her sister wrote to her future self, and it has a list of things that she wanted to do before she graduated 8th grade. And so the main character, Amelia, decides to complete all of these things for her sister. And I already finished this book. I actually finished it yesterday because it was on my August TBR. And I really liked this book. It was pretty good. I'll probably talk about it in another video at some point, but I really liked it. Yeah, I thought it was very good and a good like middle grade experience of like grief and overcoming grief, and I thought it was really good. I liked it a lot. So the next stack of books I have is right here. Now, while I was at that book fair, my elementary school librarian gave me this stack of books that were donated to the library, but they're not exactly appropriate for elementary school kids, so they're more YA based, or they just didn't want them. So this one is Love and Peaches by Jodi Lynn Anderson. This is actually the third book in a series, but I do think I have the first one, which is Peaches, on ebook, so I'm probably going to read that. Don't really know what this is about, but. And then I have Guitar Notes by Mary Amato. I have already read this one also. I read it earlier this summer and I really enjoyed it. It's about these two high schoolers, I think, who share a practice room, and they start exchanging notes on a guitar and in the guitar in the practice room, and it's just about them getting to know each other and everything, and it's really sweet. And this book made me cry because there's a part at the end that was just very sad. And then the next book I have is Save the Cupcake by Confectionally Yours. Not by Confectionally Yours, by Lisa. I am not even going to try and pronounce her last name, but there it is. It's part of the Confectionally Yours series, which is books about cupcakes and this girl who bakes cupcakes and everything. I started reading this. I got like 10 pages in and then I put it down because it wasn't really what I was looking for at the time, but I'm super excited to read it. Next, I have Two Summers by Amy Friedman. This is a book about a girl who she has these two, her summer ends up dividing into like two parallel worlds, and she discovers new sides of herself in both. And yeah, I am very interested in reading this. I actually saw this a while ago when I was still at elementary school and going to the book fair. And then the next two books I have are Daughters of the Sea books. These are both by Catherine Lasky, and I have Lucy and May. I don't know what these are about. I think they're like historical fiction romance. I'm not really sure, but I don't know if I'll end up reading these because they kind of don't look like something that's my thing, but I might just have to give them a try. Ooh, but the hardcover is very pretty. May. That's very pretty. What does the other one look like? I'll look at it later. And then the next book I have is Pride and Prejudice by Elizabeth Eulberg. This is a Pride and Prejudice retelling. Super excited to read this. I almost started reading it and I didn't, but I think I will like this a lot. Then I have Love Maybe by Heather Hepler. I've already read this and I love it. It's about a girl who doesn't believe in love. She doesn't think it's for her. She was born on Valentine's Day and she's seen too many relationships fall apart that she just doesn't want to be a part of it anymore. But then she ends up, her friend gets stumped by her boyfriend, and she and her other friends decide to help her. They are going to start dating people, and they are going to find dates for themselves for Valentine's Day. So I loved this book. I thought it was so good, and it's just, I read it in one day and I loved it. So the next books I have, I'm going to go with this stack of books right here, which are all books that I got from a used bookstore when I was up in North Carolina. They have a bookstore up there called Wall Street Books, and I went twice because I was up there twice in the past like 7 months, and I love that bookstore. It's so cute and they have such a good selection of books. So while I was there the first time, I picked up By Your Side by Casey West. I watched a Haley in Bookland video one time and she talked about this book and it sounded very interesting, and I'm super like interested in reading it, and I saw it and I was like, I might as well pick it up while I'm here. So it's basically about this girl who gets locked in a library with this other boy, and they are stuck in this library for an entire weekend with each other, and they learn about each other and fall in love. I've read a couple of Casey West books and I really enjoyed them, so I'm excited to get to this one. The next book I have is The Alchemist, The Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel by Michael Scott. I really don't know what this is about. I picked it up because it was almost in brand new condition and it's really a pretty book. And I was up in Maryland last summer, I think, and I went to a bookstore there and they had this book and I almost bought it. And when I went to this bookstore, I saw it and I was like, is that a sign that I should read this book? And so I picked it up. The next book I have is The Daughters Take the Stage by Joanna Philbin. This is also the third book in a series, and I didn't realize that until after I bought it. But I think I'll still enjoy it. I might try and find the other books somewhere, but it definitely sounds like something I'm into. I love books about like famous people, like girls who are part of like the celebrity world. I love learning about it. It's probably one of my favorite things in books. So I'm really interested in reading this. And then these books are all from the second time I went. So I have A Series of Unfortunate Events, The Ersatz Elevator. I've already read this. Oh, by Lemony Snicket. I've already read this, and I love the Series of Unfortunate Events series. I've watched the entire show on Netflix, and up until this point I had read 5 of the books, and then I stopped reading them. But while I was there, I saw it, and I was like, I had this urge to pick it up, also because this book was the next one I need to read, and it's probably one of my favorite episodes in the show. So I read it, loved it, ready for the 7th one. I also picked up Lemony Snicket, the unauthorized autobiography, and I'm planning on reading this when I finish the entire series, and it just has pictures and stuff in it and explains stuff from the book. Next, I have The Secret Zoo by Brian Chick. This book is about a kind of magical zoo, and the main character's sister has disappeared, and he has to go looking for her, and it has something to do with the zoo. So he gets the animals to help him find his sister. I'm not really sure, but it sounds really good. Next, I have Property of Hogwarts Library, Quidditch Through the Ages by Kenilworthy Wisp. At least that's what it says, but J.K. Rowling. I picked this up because this is probably the only book from the Hogwarts Library that I haven't read yet, and I saw it and I was like, might as well buy it, because I never buy these books from anywhere for myself, like Barnes & Noble or anywhere else, because I don't feel like it. But I saw this and I was like, why not? I couldn't pass it up. I also got Anne of Avonlea by L.M. Montgomery. This is the second book in the Anne of Green Gables series. I read Anne of Green Gables earlier this year and I absolutely loved it. So when I saw this there, I knew I had to pick it up. The next set of books I'm going to talk about are the books that I've bought or my mother has given me. So the first book I have is The One Only Ivan by Katherine Applegate. My mom gave me this because it was in her classroom, and The One Only Ivan is probably one of my most favorite books of all time. I love this book. I read it for a project a couple years ago, and since then I've read it like 5 times over. I completely love it. And the sequel was coming out, and I wanted to reread The One Only Ivan before I read the sequel. So my mom brought it home for me when she went to her classroom one day, and I'm just so excited to finally have a copy of my own. The next book, as you might have guessed, is The One Only Bob by Katherine Applegate. This is a signed first edition that my mom ordered me, because Katherine Applegate is one of my favorite authors. I've already read this and absolutely loved it. I'll probably read it again someday. But I love these books. They are just so amazing and I love them. So the next 3 books I have are for my summer reading. So the first one I have is Lord of Flies by William Golding. I have already read this, and I have to reread it soon. I think I'm starting my reread today because I didn't highlight it the first time, and we have to highlight it for school. So I have to go back in and highlight it. I didn't love this book, but it was pretty good. I like this book, but it's definitely not one of my favorites. The next book I have is Girls with Sharp Sticks by Suzanne Young, and I love this book so much. I'm so happy to have it. It's so good, and I'm so excited to read the second book in the series, Girls with Razor Hearts. This book is about a group of girls who are at Innovations Academy, where they are trained to be prim, proper, and perfect, and obedient, and not stand up for themselves. But as the girls are there, they start to uncover dark secrets about the academy and why they're really there. This book is absolutely fantastic. I will recommend it forever. It's probably one of my favorite books. The next book I have is Slay by Brittany Morris. I also had to read this for my summer reading, and it was so good. I love this book so much. It's about a girl who creates a virtual reality game based on Black culture, and but nobody knows she is the creator of the game. And one day a Black boy is murdered over a dispute in the game, and she and the game are come under fire for what happens for the game. I'm doing a really bad job of explaining it, but I absolutely love this book. It's so good. I will also be recommending this forever. I will continue to read stuff by Brittany Morris. Also, this is probably one of the most beautiful books I own. Like, the cover is stunning, and this is just beautiful. I absolutely love this book. So the last two books I have for this haul is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I bought these two books today. I'll show you the other one in a minute. At Barnes & Noble because they were buy one get one 50% off. And I've been wanting to read Truly Devious for a very long time. Sorry about my breath, I had to go move something. It was very heavy. But I was so excited when I saw this on the buy one get one 50% off table. And I'm so happy I finally have it in my arms. The next book I have is A Lovely War by Julie Berry. This was also on the table, and I'm so happy I have this book. I've been wanting to read this book forever, and it's absolutely beautiful. I think it's stunning, and it's super big, which means it's going to take me a really long time to read probably. But I'm so excited to read this book, and I'm so happy I have it. So that's my entire book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, you've got to like, you've got to subscribe, and you've got to comment down below what you want to see in my next video. I'll see you guys later, and out. Bye guys.